Hi guys, welcome back. It has been quite the year. 2023, we're right on the edge, and it has been the most amazing year. And I just want to start the video by saying a big thank you to all my new subscribers. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have got to the first 1,000, so thank you. And as promised, I am going to do my very first Q&A. So I have my questions here on my phone from you guys. And how many have we got? We've got well, 15, 16-ish questions. Some of your questions were like quite long, so I've had to break them up just so that I can answer them properly to the best of my ability. Anyway, so what I plan to do is a bit of a repot at the same time, and we're going to start with, finally, we're going to get this Monstera albo. Sorry, slightly distracted. Yeah, we're going to get this onto a moss pole and into a larger pot. So I've got the moss pole and I've got a couple of plants behind me as well. So let's get started, shall we? Yeah, let's get started. Oh, I'm a bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous. I've got to just say, I haven't really looked at these questions. I mean, I've looked at the questions, but I haven't properly thought of how I'm going to answer them. So we're going to do this. What would be the right term? Yeah, I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. You know, I'm going to go with how I am feeling at this very moment. Okay, let's start with the first one. So the first one is, do you sell cuttings, and if yes, how do we order? Okay, so no, I do not. Well, I do sell my cuttings, but I haven't kind of organised like a proper place for them to be sold, if that makes sense. So, oof. So yeah, I wonder if I should have done this on the floor really. So normally I would go onto Facebook and I'd just upload a bunch of pictures onto either my UK houseplants club. Is it a club? Yeah, so I'm a member to a couple of different clubs on Facebook, and yeah, so normally I would put them up there, and then yeah, I kind of like do my swaps and stuff on there. But I do plan on doing something, obviously, now that my YouTube channel is going quite well, and since you guys have been asking, so I'm concentrating. Yeah, since you guys have been asking me about cuttings and plants and whatever, it would be great to set up a little shop so that you can go and visit there and see what I've got. And also, I think it would just be quite helpful. It'll be great for me as well, because I'm being really finicky. I just painted my nails and I can see I've just scratched one. Why did I do that? Yeah, so it'd be really quite cool actually to do that, and I do plan on doing it because I do plan on getting rid of a couple of my plants. Yeah, it'd be really helpful because then I could sell plants that I no longer want, and let's see if I start at the other end. and cuttings, since my plants grow fairly quickly, it would be just a great way to share them. Oh my goodness. Why are you being so difficult? Yes, it's clicking into place. Yeah, so that will be a future project. I think I've answered that question and ruined it now. Right, next. How is your pea splendid getting on since you got it? Oh my goodness. I love that plant so much. I'm obsessed with that plant. I'm so pleased that I got it. And it was on my wish list. I didn't actually do my 2023 wish list video. I will be doing a 2024, and then I'll probably just add what I bought in 2023 from that list and what's on that list that will then go onto my 2024 list. Did I just go completely off track? No, I didn't. Okay, we're still on track. Yeah. What I love mostly about that plant is, oh yeah, that's right, why I was going on about the list. So yeah, I had like the Glorious on my list and a couple of other, well, obviously some other plants. But now that I have the Splendid for me is kind of like having the best of both worlds when it comes to the Melanochrysum and the Glorious. So I'm kind of like, I feel quite happy now that I have the Splendid, and so the Glorious will not be on my list. Yeah, I must say that the plant tends to grow very quickly and it sizes up really quickly. And I have mine on a moss pole, and I definitely feel that that helps with all my plants, to be honest, which is why I want them on Monstera on this pole. That's what I did to my nails. Okay, I think it's all in. So that's the pole done. Yeah, so if you don't have a Splendid, if you're kind of trying to work out whether you should get the Melanochrysum or the Glorious, the Splendid is a great like plant that combines those two together. Oh, I've just got to like point out that although the Splendid kind of has those two traits, the parents of the plant, I'm looking over there because that's where the plant is, although the parent of the plant is a Melanochrysum and a Verrucosum. Okay, let's move on to the next question. The next question. What do you do except your plants? So I'm guessing you mean, what do I do besides playing with my plants? Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I've got to be really honest. Recently, my plants definitely have kind of taken over my free time, especially since I've started this channel. And yeah, a lot of my other hobbies have taken like a lot of my other plant hobbies I just haven't really done very much lately. Let me just tip the camera down. So what do I do besides playing with my plants? I'm actually quite crafty. I love making things and concentrating. Yeah, I love to make things, and I also love to sew. Love sewing. And Yeah, I love sewing. I actually studied, well, I did a fine art course, a BTEC fine art course, and then I did which was combined with a fashion course. So I actually know how to make my own patterns for making clothes, and I love to do that. I love to paint and draw, and whenever I get a moment, I love to go around the exhibitions here in London. It's one of the best things about living in London is that you can entertain yourself quite easily for free by going to a lot of the, I need these balls. Yeah, by going to exhibitions and stuff, they're all free. I mean, like often within the exhibition, there's like a private exhibition that you'll have to pay for. But if you don't have any money, then you can do that. Let me just get a cup. Yeah, so whilst I pick through these, what else do I do? I love to read. I have a lot of books, and if I'm not kind of messing around with plants, then I love to sit down and read a book. I don't actually own a television, so I'm not the type of person who's going to sit down and watch TV with you. I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say I'm hyperactive, but I do find it difficult to sit and just sit and watch TV. Like I'll just end up getting up every 5 seconds and I get distracted and I want to do other things. So I'm probably not the best person to watch TV with. I'll probably talk through it, or I'll just get up and leave. But I do love to watch a bit of Netflix from time to time. So I do that. I love to exercise. I'm very into yoga. I've been doing yoga now for, gosh, over 10 years. God, yeah, easily, maybe longer. And at one point I was doing it 6 times a week, like 6 days of the week, and I would take 1 day off. And yeah, that's what I like to do in my free time. And of course, hanging out with friends. Most of my friends are, well, I have like different types of friends for different types of things. But I do have quite a few friends now that are into plants. So we love to go on the hunt together, which can be dangerous sometimes when you come across a plant and there's only one of them. Oh, we're getting through these questions, guys. That's good. So, okay. Which one plant do you love the best? Oh my God. Guys, how could you ask that question? That's shocking. Oh my goodness. You know, they're all listening, these guys. First of all, I want to start by saying I love all my plants equally. And yeah, I don't want to jinx anything around here. We're just getting over spider mite. But gosh, that's a really difficult question. What is my favourite? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Can I pick 3? Is that cheating? I'm going to pick 3 and then we'll try and whittle it down. Okay, so the Monstera Thai constellation, and I'll put in a little bit of footage of what she's looking like right now. She's looking amazing. Just pushed out a brand new leaf, so I'm like, oh, and that's the first one in my care, so it's a really good indication that it's happy here. The second, of course, is my Splendid. Love that one. And the third would be my Anthurium luxurians dark form. And between those three, which one do I like the best? I honestly, I don't know. Oh my gosh, it's such a hard question. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is, why don't you guys tell me, out of those three plants that I've just shown you or just told you about, why don't you just tell me which one you feel is your favourite? Yeah. I know I'm cheating. But guys, come on. You can't ask that question. I hope no one was listening. I love you all. I love you all. Okay, let's move on to the next question. I'm going to tip the camera back down again. So let's see. Next question is, I would like to start my own YouTube station. What is your advice? Oh gosh. Now, I'm no expert. What is my advice? My advice would be, well, I'm just going to tell you, like, what helped me. I think the most important thing is to be consistent. So it just makes life easy for you as well if you choose a day that you're going to publish your video. Just make sure, like, try your very best to do it on that day at the same time, and like how you would with any other hobby. Like, just make sure, like, just kind of give yourself that day and just be like, okay, like for me, it's I post on Sundays, but I actually, I upload the videos on Saturdays for Sunday. Let's get rid of that. Okay, I'm back. So I've made 2 holes in this pot here. You can see there. Maybe you can see that, but anyway, there are. And then I've done the same on here. And I now just need to attach the 2 together. And I'm going to use these guys, or just one of these. So definitely be yourself. You're going to find your tribe. I mean, that is like the best thing about this whole process, is you're going to find people just like you. And yeah, just have fun with it, you know. Don't take it too seriously, you know, but at the same time, just remember that the people that are watching, you know, will want some kind of consistency. Okay, so we're at this stage now. Now I'm going to put some leca balls in the bottom of this thing. It's a little bit fiddly. I probably should have done this on the floor. Okay, so we've got balls in the poles and we've got balls in the bottom, and the rest of the balls are here. I need to make a space. Next question is, what do you use to edit? So I have, in the past, I was using just iMovies, and I think that's a great app to use, especially if you're using your phone, which actually is in the next question. Let me just read that next bit. Okay, so this subscriber says, I just want to use my iPhone to record. I have plenty of plants and experience, and I sell plants. Oh, that's really cool. But I've never done a YouTube video or Instagram or any kind of social media, please give advice. Okay, please give advice. I will not read the rest. Yeah, you might, I mean, to be honest, I'm also really bad with social media, but I have got to a stage where I realise that they do kind of, they work hand in hand in some elements, or they can work for you. By having an Instagram account can be really helpful. I have a TikTok account, but I really just don't. I only have that because my daughter's on TikTok and she likes sending me things. Okay, it is done. All the recordables in. It doesn't seem very sensual, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, so editing. I would say use iMovies, since you want to use your phone anyway. And you said that you have an iPhone, so your iPhone will have iMovies on it. So that's like your free option. But if you, once you've kind of like navigated your way around that and you kind of mastered that, then you can move on to some of the paid apps that you can put on your phone. iShop is a good one. Final Cut Pro is a really good one, but again, you do need to pay for them. So I think in the beginning, just use iMovies, because I mean, like, that's how I started, and it definitely kind of set me up with the apps that I'm using at the moment. So yeah, I'm using like a little combo. It depends how I'm feeling, really. If I feel like, oh, there's not a hell of a lot of editing to do, then I will just use Final Cut Pro. Sometimes I still use iMovies. The other great thing about iMovies is that you can add the music that they give you. There's no kind of copyright issues. Okay, let's put this baby in. Get you in. Oh, look at that. Is she gonna like it there? And then I just want to fasten this to the pole. Yeah. Not very organised. Yeah, okay, let's move on to the next question. The next question. Okay. Hello, I'd like to know. Actually, I'm going to leave that one because I want to carry on doing this. I'll do that afterwards. How do you remember a pandemic times? Oh, this is a really good question. So like a lot of you guys, in that very beginning, when we were all told to stay home, I found myself reconnecting to a lot of my hobbies, and although it was really scary, I did actually keep myself fairly busy at home. And I wonder if I should have put moss in first. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I kept myself very busy. I was getting up every day and exercising. I was doing my yoga every single day. I just kept myself very, very busy. I was also sewing a lot. I actually made myself a whole wardrobe during that time. And what else was I doing? Yeah, it was a scary time. It was definitely scary. Those, like, when we really didn't have a clue what was going on. And we just kind of like sat at home waiting really to see what was going to happen next. But I must say, I finally got a chance to enjoy my home. And I most definitely, it was during that time that I discovered that I was actually quite good with plants. Whereas in the past, I was always too busy. And yeah, I had these 5 plants. I had 2 succulents, an ivy, an arborfolia, which oh my God, was my favorite plant ever. A Calathea arborfolia, sorry. And I had a Draciana, which I still have actually. I've got 2 of those plants still. I managed to, the others croaked it. But yeah, I was really like, I just discovered like, oh my gosh, these things are actually, I mean, I knew that they were alive, but I just kind of just didn't realise how much they reacted to things. And yeah, I just had the time to like sit home and, you know, watch the light travel around the room. And yeah, I just kind of noticed that my plants were like really reacting to the light. And my arborfolia was my absolute favourite. And this plant, like when you watered it, it's like you could hear it drinking. It suddenly just became super, super alive. Now, I was home alone during this whole time. So my plants were like literally my best friends. And the other thing I really remember, like in the very beginning when there were no aeroplanes, no traffic on the streets, there was just no traffic, nothing moving around outside. God, there's a lot of sphagnum moss in here. I probably should have covered that up. Okay. Yeah, and like, I just remember at night, it was really late at night and I could hear all the birds singing, and it was just like nature had just reclaimed this space. Like I would go on these really long walks and there would just be so much going on out there. It was just bizarre. You see like a whole little crew of foxes and ducks and just wildlife absolutely everywhere. And I absolutely loved that. And yeah, the birds would be up singing through the night. And to be honest, like I found it very difficult to sleep in the beginning. I was feeling very inspired, and I need to mix up some soil. Yeah, I was just really inspired to just do stuff. And I had like so much energy. Yeah, it was brilliant. I actually really enjoyed that that aspect. I'm a bit of a loner, so the whole lockdown experience wasn't probably as scary for me as it was for some other people, like you sociable lot. I'm quite happy with my own company, and I quite liked the whole distancing thing. I know, it's so bad. I mean, to be honest, like during that whole time, you know, when you had to stay, I think it was like 2 meters away from each other. Loved that. Yeah, I don't like people right next to me at the best of times, especially when they're sick. Put some bark in here. A little bit of bark. Like also want to add some highlights. I'm just going to put this one in. Didn't wash it, but oof, oh, that was pretty dusty. Oh, yeah, see, that's why you wash it. What else do I remember? Yeah, like I said, I was just really busy, and I had like a lot of my friends are kind of scattered around the world, and we would do kind of like Zoom meetings, which was fun, and we'd do like yoga lessons together and that kind of stuff. So I made it as fun as I possibly could. I'm going to put a little bit of this in. I mean, I'm sure there's some worm casting in there, but I'm just going to add a little bit more. Yeah, it was quite a magical time for me, but at the same time, it was quite scary. A lot of my family is all over the place. I mean, my parents are both here in the UK. I have a brother that also lives here in the UK, but I've got family in Singapore, I've got family in Germany. My daughter at that time was in South Africa, which I felt was the safest place for her to be. And what else? Yeah, so I mean, that was kind of, you know, obviously like I was missing that. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. What can I say? But yeah, no, I definitely, I think like a lot of other people, it just kind of gave me enough time to like figure out what it is I wanted to do with my life. And I remember like kind of thinking at one stage, like, what if we, like, this is our life now, like we just have to stay inside forever. What am I going to do? And yeah, so I was kind of like busy daydreaming about how I could make the life that I want. There, it's done. Oh, I'm so happy. Finally got this guy on a moss pole. I'm so happy. That looks amazing. I'm very, very pleased with that. Okay, let's move on to something else. Where in Great Britain would you like to live? What is your dream home? Oh, this is a sweet question. We get to daydream together. That's gonna be fun. I've never been to Wales. I've never been to Scotland or Ireland. I've done a lot of Europe, but I must say, I haven't done a lot in my own country. Where in Great Britain? So I've been to some really beautiful places here in Great Britain. Like, I've been to Windsor, and Windsor is very pretty. It's really nice. Where else have I been that I really just... Oh, I love Cornwall. Cornwall is so nice. But to be honest, guys, I think, well, my biggest fear would be that if I were to move to somewhere like that, I would get bored. And I'm quite a spontaneous person. Like, if I decide I wanted, like, what I love about living in London is that I can be as spontaneous as I want. And if I, like right now, after recording this, I could be like, oh, I just want to go to Oxford Street quickly, and I can be there within 21 minutes. 21 minutes, and that's with traffic. I love London. I was born and raised here. Sorry. yeah, I was born and raised here, and I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. But when I daydream and I'm in La La Land, I often dream about moving to Edinburgh. But then I promptly remember how cold that place gets. I'm actually going to clean this vessel because I want to use it for one of my anthuriums, which will help me with my next question. So I'm going to be right back. Let me just give this a bit of a rinse. The next question, what's your experience been like with anthuriums? So the anthuriums, I'm finding some of them are really easy and some of them are more difficult. And what I've recently discovered is that when they're in pots that are too snug, they don't like their roots to be snug. They like space. So I recently repotted this one. It was actually in this pot before, and that plant was in a much smaller pot. So what I realized was that I was watering more often, and the leaves were kind of going, the oldest leaves were going yellow and croaking it. So yeah, what I've discovered is that upsizing the pots before that issue comes around is really going to help you. So yeah, this guy's now in a much larger pot. This guy, I'm still learning about my veitchii, my anthurium veitchii, but it's been here for 4 months now, and we have the very first new leaf, which is stunning. It's just perfect. I'm in love with this plant. It's kind of like a bit of a weird grower because, like, for some reason it wants to point the other direction. So I might have to change the lighting for these guys so that the lighting isn't above them, that it's kind of in front of them. What else have I discovered about my anthuriums? My gorgeous luxurians. Oh, isn't she just too much? Wow. Anyway, that plant definitely is in a pot that's way too small, but I want to get another one of these pots. This pot is actually from IKEA. Yeah, so I want to get that one into a larger pot, and today I'm going to do this guy. So yeah, I've just realised that this pot is not that much bigger. It's not that much bigger, so I can't really see the point in doing it. So we might have to skip this one, but you can already see I'm losing a leaf. Don't think I'm going to repot this one today, but yeah, here she is. I'm going to put her on the floor for a bit. So I've got 2 plants behind me. I've got this little guy, which is my Alocasia Amazonica Bambino, and I'm just going to put this into, oh no, I watered it. Oh, decorations, those will have to come down soon. Let's move the tray. So yeah, I'm going to need some more pon. I'm just going to put this one into a cup, into one of these. Let's have a look at the next question. Hello, I'd like to know how many plants is on your wish list. Okay, so I do have a wish list, obviously, for 2004. Let's have a look. Where's my wish list? That's 2004. So my 2023 list, oh my God, there's actually a lot on there. Let me just count them up quick. I've got 24 on my 2023 list, and out of that lot I got, oh okay, from that list I got 7 of the plants. And then on my 2024 list I have, I mean, I don't intend on buying all of these, yeah, 1 2 3 4, okay. And then on my 2024 list I have 30 plants. Some of the plants that were on my 2023 list have moved on to my 2024 list. and that brings the number up to 30 plants. Yeah, dream on. There's no way that I'm going to get all of those, but it would be great if I could get 1 or 2 of them. I'd be very happy with that. Oh, I've forgotten the question. Oh, I didn't look at the questions. Hang on a minute. Let me just choose another question. Yeah, I don't know how other YouTubers do this, like repot and answer questions. Quite difficult. Okay, so I didn't finish my dream home. Yeah, so my dream home would be, I've got 2 areas in London that I absolutely love. The one is Hampstead. I actually live fairly close that I can walk to Hampstead Heath from here, but it would be great to actually live in Hampstead. Hampstead is like one of the richest areas in London, and I mean, it's just got the best of both worlds. You really do feel like you're in the countryside, but then it's really, really central. So I love it for that reason. And then the other area is Notting Hill, which is close to the park. So I mean, there's a bit of a theme going here where I basically like walking. If I can walk everywhere, I would. I really enjoy walking. So that's why those 2 areas kind of stand out for me. But in an ideal world, it would be Hampstead. And my dream home would be, I'd love a home that had enough space so that I could, oh, look at this. Got all those corms in there. I hope you can see that without the leaf getting in the way, but yeah, we've got some corms in there. That's good. So I think a big pot's going to be a good move. Yeah, yeah, I'd love to have a home that's big enough so that I can have people come and stay and have more space for bigger plants. So yeah, like a really nice apartment. It'd have to be really sunny and lovely. And ideally, I would love to have a roof terrace so that I could put like a little sun house up there, or like a little like conservatory, so that I could grow more plants. And then yeah, it'd be like all the plants that I've currently got in boxes in my bedroom, which I do not like. I'd like my bedroom just to be a bedroom. It'd be nice to just have a space for like all my cuttings and all the plants that I'm kind of nursing back to health. Oh, that one done. It's fairly easy. Trella. Yeah. And I mean, I've seen some there's some beautiful homes here. I wish I'd done like little videos. I was out yesterday, I went shopping. I went to Oxford Street. I needed to go and buy some clothes and things. And on the way, I went past Maid of Vale. Maid of Vale is a really lovely area as well. And the way that they've decorated their homes with Christmas, oh my gosh. It was jaw-dropping. It was just so, so nice. Yeah, I'm going to use this cup. And like you could see, like there's these beautiful homes that have gardens, but then because I was on the top of the bus, I could also see that they had skylights in their homes and like a like a roof terrace, like, you know, the best of everything. I mean, wow, that would be amazing. And yeah, but my dream home, and one of my biggest daydreams during that whole pandemic times, I was actually spending a lot of my time researching Earthship homes. It was like I just discovered this new craze of building Earthship homes. And yeah, I just kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole with that. Oh, we've got some roots. Oh, look, finally, we've got some roots coming. Oh, I'm so happy about that. I mean, it's kind of in the weird place, but I think I need to do that again. Yeah, so my dream home would be to build an Earthship home. And the Earthship homes, there was this one Earthship home that I found that had, like, it was built in like kind of like half a circle, and then at the front there was these enclosed greenhouse spaces, like it wrapped around. There was like a greenhouse that wrapped around the outside of the house, and with those particular areas they would grow vegetables and stuff and be like completely sustainable. And I mean, that would be quite the dream. Yeah, so I would say an Earthship home would be my ideal home, but I wouldn't necessarily do that in this country. Okay, that's that one done. How many more questions do I have left? Oh, I've got quite a few more questions left. So the last question that I'm going to be answering today is, do I like my work? And I'm guessing you're talking about my day job. So I actually work with plants. I do. I work in a plant shop, and I started that job just as we came out of the first lockdown in 2021. Been working there for about a month, and yeah, like with everything, if I'm enthusiastic about something, I just throw myself into research mode, and I was doing tons of research, loads and loads of research on plants. And then like my regional manager would come in and like chat to us like once a week, because it was the very first store in London. And she just could see that I really knew my staff and that I'd been doing a lot of research, and I got promoted to plant expert. Delivery day is my favourite day. I spend that day checking for pests, and to be honest, that's probably what I do most of the time, is checking for pests and just checking the health of the plants and taking care of them, fertilizing, all the things. Sometimes I even repot plants. I give advice to people that are buying the plants, and yeah, I love it. I love working with plants. I love working with people that are interested in plants. I like taking care of their needs, and yeah, I feel like I'm quite a lucky girl in that department. So I am back. I had a quick rummage around the room. I had to hoover. It was driving me crazy. I just had mess all under my feet. So I found these two plants, and hopefully that will cover me for the next 2 questions. Let me see actually how many more. Make sure I did everybody. Actually, there's 4 more questions. No. Yeah. Okay. Oh dear Lord. Okay. Let's do the next one. I hope it's an easy one. Okay, so this one's got 2 questions kind of. Let me just read it. So yeah, this is the question. I'm going to read it out. I recently started collecting tropical plants and soil so far was hard. Had some root rot and still struggling to find perfect watering. I see you use lacquer at the bottom in your plants. Does that help with the root rot? And how does lacquer help? Okay, so that's the next question. I'm actually going to tip the camera down and I'm going to repot. Do I even have a pot for this? We'll leave that one till last. I'm going to do my Ripsalis. Haven't a clue of what it is. So the question was, so you've noticed that I use non-drainage and that I have a reservoir. I put lacquer balls at the bottom so that it kind of holds the soil above it, or whatever substrate I'm using. And then that way I can use this part as a reservoir for water. So there are some plants that I will water just as you would normally. And if anything, if I do overwater, then it will go into the reservoir. But with other plants, sometimes I fill the reservoir because they're quite thirsty plants. So it really depends on what type of plant it is. And I've been using this vessel, which is like an old olive oil jar. Nothing but the best, right? Yeah, so that's what I do. I've also got some plants that are in, God, I don't know how easy this is going to be. Yeah, I've also got some plants that are in, oh, hello, check that out. That was brilliant. Yeah, I've also got some plants in drainage pots with drainage holes, and they also have lacquer balls at the bottom. So the lacquer balls do not help prevent root rot. So if that's the reason why you would, that is not the reason why I would do a reservoir. Talking about reservoirs, let's set this little kid up. So I will be doing a reservoir with this guy. Great, that's all over the floor again. Yeah, so there's 2 reasons. The 2 reasons that I do these reservoirs are, one, for the non-drainage plants. I think it's necessary that I have like just a fallback just in case. Yeah, just in case I do overwater the plant. Actually, that's too much. So the other reason I have the reservoirs in both drainage and non-drainage pots is because if I go away for 2 weeks, I've got the ones that are in non-drainage, I've got like about a week or 2 weeks of water, so hopefully that will keep them going. And then with the plants that are in drainage pots, they, oh wow, look at the length of these roots. Oh no, this isn't going to work. Oh, I need to find something else. I need something else. What am I going to use? I have to do one of those. Oh, that's not the most attractive. that's what it's going to have to be. So yeah. Oh wow, see, that's quite a reservoir. Jeez. Yeah, sorry, went off topic. It's actually quite difficult answering questions and doing this. Who would have thought? Yeah, yeah. So when I go on holiday, what I do with the plants that are in drainage pots, say this plant had some holes in the bottom and it was just like a normal drainage pot. I do like the same thing. I'll do a reservoir like as deep as this, and then I'll sit those plants on trays, and then I'll fill the tray of water so that it comes to just below where the soil or the other substrate is. And that way, if they do need additional water whilst I'm out of the house and not around to do it for them, they can just draw the water from there. But when it comes to root rot, what I would say is, oh no, it's falling apart. Yeah, the next time you have this problem with root rot, when you unpot your plant, just check out its roots. Like with this one, for instance, I can tell that there's some rotting roots. So this is actually, I mean, it's not great. Obviously, I don't want to rot my roots, but you can kind of tell. Actually, let me not do that because now I'm just making a whole heap of mess. So we are going to do some trimming of roots. Actually, I'll put you in there, and then I'm going to scoop out any dead roots. Yeah, I've definitely overwatered this plant. I mean, it's Ripsalis, and I did fill its reservoir, which was silly. Shouldn't have done that. Okay, I don't see any more in there. It's really important that you cut off these dead roots. So generally, you can kind of tell they'll just fall off like that. I mean, they're just going to be, wow, quite soft. Oh dear, yeah. I did not do too good with watering here. So yeah, you can see they're kind of just slipping off my hand like this. I mean, I'm actually going to go ahead and trim some of these. Well, that's such a shame. We were doing so well. I mean, some of them are fine. So yeah, just kind of run your hands along them, give them a little bit of a squeeze. This one has quite fine roots, so it's slightly more difficult to do that, to know where to cut. But if they're wobbling around, like, let me see if I can find one. They should have like a bit of bounce to them. This is actually quite a difficult plant for me to show you where to cut. Let's see if I can find one. Ah, here we go, here's one. So you can kind of see, I'll zoom in, hopefully. You can kind of see like this root here, when I slip my finger along it, bits of it's coming off. So what I want to do in that situation is trim off the part that looks stringy. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to take off quite a bit more soil. And some of them are fine and some of them are not so great. Oh, here's another one. So yeah, you just want to go around and you want to trim those roots that look kind of hair-like. like so. And then what I would suggest you get is some of this stuff. It's called Great White, and it's basically like a root hormone. And I use this whenever I buy a new plant, and then I'm changing it. I always change the substrate, like I never leave my plants in the soil that it came in. I will always use some of this on the roots, especially, I mean, I used this on my anthuriums, and the following leaf was massive. Like the first leaf that grew in my care was almost double the size with all of the anthuriums. So it definitely works. I will be using some on this plant. I'll just put this away. Actually, I'm going to plonk that in there. And all these little bits. And that. Right, so this substrate is very moist. I'm going to add some more desert mix. This is from Grow Tropicals. It's predominantly pumice stone. I think there's some sand in there. There's a bit of cocoa coir, but not a lot. I can see a lot of activated charcoal in there as well. Let's see if we can dry this out a little bit. Skippy. And I'm just going to leave those balls in there because I'm not going to dig those out. Right. The next step. Yeah, so definitely like go ahead, trim off all the dead roots, and get yourself some Great White or something that has like a root hormone in it. Oh, then I want to keep you. So I'm going to tap on a little bit of this stuff to show you what it looks like as well. Actually, you know what? Oh, that piece just fell in there. Never mind. So I'm putting quite a lot on there. You can also use this in the water, like when you're watering. You don't actually have to tap it directly onto the plant's roots. I just like to do that, especially with plants like this, where I won't be watering this plant. So I'm holding it up because it's got some longer roots in there. Making a bit of a mess, so we'll be getting the hoover out again. Okay, so what is the next question? So the next question is, I know from your IG account that you were once a model. Can you tell a bit about it, part of your life? Oh, a bit about this part of my life. Yeah, I was a model. I started modeling very young, and I was actually discovered by an agency. I didn't look for that job, and to be honest, I definitely wasn't the kind of girl that ever thought about becoming a model. I wasn't confident really in that way, and I think I was also, I don't know, like I was quite like I would say I was quite a late developer. So I was approached by an agent twice. The first time I was 17 and I had these really thick glasses on, and I know, I just didn't take it seriously. And then I was approached again, and that time I did take it seriously, which it was in the same year. I was going to the London College of Arts, and in that area there's a lot of modelling agencies, or there were at that time, so I kind of got scouted again. And also I was at a university of fashion, so I was actually doing a show for, I helped out as being a model for the end of year fashion department, like the end of year students. And yeah, and this agency came up to me then. So I started modelling, and I used to have my hair in dreadlocks, and I was actually the only model at that time that had dreadlocks. So I think that's a reason why I kind of stood out a bit and why things went quite well for me. So that's that dude done. Yeah, and I started doing like all the teeny magazines. So although I was 18, I looked like 14, and I looked really young for a very long time. What's that guy? As I got more and more confident, and like people kind of knew who I was within the industry, I got some TV commercials which took me to South Africa. And that kind of leads me on to the next question. But I must say, modelling definitely isn't for everyone. It's a great career for someone that doesn't have any responsibilities, because you need to be quite, like if your agent gets a job for you, often you'll get a job and then the next day you'll be flown somewhere. So you kind of need to be, you can't have any responsibilities, and you need to be able to like just bounce around from country to country. You can't really base yourself, and it can be very lonely. Let's take this thing out of here. It's way too small. Yeah, I just noticed I'm getting like some yellowing leaves, and I'm just, yeah. Look how, I mean, this just, I don't know why I put it in here. How am I going to get it out? What was I saying? Yeah, it can be very lonely because you're travelling from one country to the next alone. Like, you don't fly with people. I mean, unless it's like it depends. But often you're on your own, and also that you're meeting new people all the time, but you might not ever see that person again, or you might see them again maybe in a year or two, or you know, like the faces will be constantly changing. So I went to a lot of places and I met a lot of faces. Yeah, I think like when I was young it was perfect because I got to travel and do those things, but at the same time it was also really lonely. Like you'll be sat, like often like they'll fly you somewhere, your agent will fly you somewhere, and you get there, and I mean, I remember that my very first time I flew somewhere, I got booked for a job in Milan, and it was for the following day. I packed a bag, jumped on the aeroplane, and then I got there, and then I realised like they'd given me like my hotel, wasn't a hotel, it was like a bed set. Yeah, they'd given me all the details and everything, but I was like, I hadn't thought about, how am I going to communicate with people? I mean, this is Italy, you know. So yeah, but I mean, somehow I managed to, I actually think I got on, no, I think I got a cab. Yeah, I managed to get a cab, and I was taken to my accommodation. And I remember kind of like, you know, they showed me the accommodation, they gave me the key, and then they left. Yeah, it was, and I just remember sitting there and just being like, oh my God, like, now what? Now what do I do? Like, I had a whole evening alone and it was just so lonely. And yeah, so you find yourself like, I found myself kind of, you just make a new family every time you go somewhere. Just plonk you in. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, I'm really pleased. Yeah, so you kind of like, I don't know. I mean, if you're lucky, you'll find people to hang out with. Yeah, so that's modelling. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. So the next question is, do I miss living in South Africa now that I'm back in the UK? And yeah, there are aspects of South Africa that I really, really miss. I really miss those going for long drives and those big open roads. Oh, really. I mean, if you haven't been to South Africa, you've got to go. It's stunning. And yeah, obviously the summers are absolutely stunning there. The weather is just, it's so beautiful. The people are very cool, and no, it really is a beautiful place to be. But like anywhere, like anywhere in the world, there are certain aspects that aren't so great. Like, I mean, the winters, unfortunately, are very cold because the homes aren't built for winter there. I've got this running theme of being cold. I don't like being cold. I think the only thing I don't miss is the distance. That it's, you know, so far from everywhere. But no, I'm always going to have a place in my heart for South Africa. In particular Cape Town. I actually only lived in Cape Town. I have been to Johannesburg, Durban. I've travelled all around South Africa. I backpacked actually around South Africa for 2 months. So I've been, yeah, along the whole coast and as far as Mozambique. Went to Zimbabwe, Swaziland, Transkei, Port Elizabeth, Durban, Joburg. I've even been to Kenya, which isn't part of South Africa, I don't think. But I've been to Botswana, which also isn't part of South Africa, and Namibia. I've been all over Africa. I've done a lot of Africa. It's amazing. It really is. Did it? Oh, I'm really pleased with that. Oh, actually got quite a bit done. I do hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that I answered your questions well, and that I didn't ramble too much or miss anything out. It was actually not as easy repotting and doing the Q&A at the same time. I guess I will develop those skills. So do let me know if you enjoyed the video, if you'd like me to do more Q&As. Give me a thumbs up, because that will definitely tell me whether you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't become a subscriber yet, please do. I would love for you to join this Planty family, this tribe of mine. And yeah, put the notification bell on, and I will see you in the new year. Oh my gosh, in 2024. Well, I suppose it depends when you're watching this video, but I will see you again very, very soon. Until then, bye.